UK. We can't tell if they're true, but they are all recounted by ordinary people. Now they are your witnesses. Many people embrace a deep desire to prove their belief that we are not alone in the universe. Cris Martin has spent many hours gathering remarkable video footage of what he believes is undeniable evidence of an alien presence in our skies. His footage is a source of great debate, and there are many skeptics, but Cris himself has not always been a believer.
I was a professional musician, session guitar player, and I was doing that pretty much from when I left school. And I used to do sessions for various bands in the kind of rock genre. I did that up until probably about 97, about 1997. That's when I got more involved in the researching the UFO phenomena.
In 1996, Cris was introduced to the concept of alien phenomena by his girlfriend at the time, Vicky.
It was probably 2 or 3 months into the relationship that she confided in me that she'd had this kind of paranormal side to her existence, that she'd met these entities in kind of dream states at night, and then actually physically she'd seen these small figures in her room when she was very young. And I remember being absolutely fascinated, and I wanted to actually try and get to the bottom of that and find out whether this was a reality or some kind of fantasy in her mind.
At first, Cris was not convinced of Vicky's claims, but he started to take the subject seriously when he too began to witness strange objects in the sky.
Well, the very first time we saw a UFO, we weren't actually looking. We were going to the shops, and Vicky saw this white sphere on the side of a cloud. It was a sunny afternoon, and this thing was just hovering on the edge of the cloud. And what was really odd is that it went into the cloud and reversed out. And did this a couple of times. We both stood there trying to work out what kind of vehicle or aircraft could do that. And we suddenly realised that there wasn't anything that we knew of that could perform those kind of manoeuvres, reversing in mid-air. And this thing didn't look like a helicopter. It was round and metallic, and that's when it hit us that we were actually looking at an actual UFO, and that was the first time. But it was I'll never forget it. It was amazing.
After that first sighting, Cris began to capture many strange images on video of objects in the sky that he believes are alien craft.
I popped out into the garden on the off chance to see if there was anything there, and I saw this thing just above the roof, just tumbling. It seemed very reflective. It was catching the light, and I managed to get the camera set up and film the thing. It was probably only visible for maybe 10 or 15 seconds, but it was significant in that it looked very unlike a balloon or a bird.
Some believe Cris's footage plays an important role in backing up claims of an alien presence in our skies. But for many others, the evidence remains far from conclusive.
What's the law of averages here? If you go out and purposely look for something, I'm pretty sure you'll find something, certainly in areas where there's a lot of aerial activity, i.e. London. The busiest airports in the world live just outside London. So it's no great surprise that you can see something and film it in the night sky.
But Cris is not alone in his beliefs. Many people who have viewed his footage believe it to be true evidence of alien visitations. Stuart Wisdom has actually been along on several of Cris's sky watches and has even begun to film his own sightings.
You have to see these things for yourself. I mean, you can show footage, but it doesn't. Once you see one of these spheres for yourself firsthand, it's a whole new ball game. It really brings it home.
This is some of Cris's most intriguing footage to date. As yet, no one has been able to prove whether this is, as Cris claims, an alien craft, or whether there is a more conventional explanation.
As soon as I looked at it, I thought this was something very strange. So again, set up the camera, zoomed right in onto full zoom, and I really can't describe what it was. It was just a very, very unusual orange horseshoe-shaped kind of object. Had kind of ribs around it. It seems solid. It's not hollow. It's not a kite of any kind. And we've estimated that it's at least 100 feet wide, and that negates any kites or fairground balloons, because there is nothing available in this country that is that size. Some skeptics have said it's a kite that was broken loose from a march that was on that day in London. But again, I've had a look on the internet, and some of the kites that I've seen displayed are very, very small. They certainly don't look anything like this orange object. So again, it's another classic UFO. It's not identifiable.
Over the years, Cris has videoed so many unusual objects that it appears he has developed an instinct for when and where they might appear.
People say to me, well, how do you know when there's going to be a sighting? And I can't really, there aren't really the words to describe how it is, but it's more a sense of knowing. It's like kind of knowing someone's going to visit you. I wouldn't say something that I'm special, or, you know, I think anyone could do it. Anyone who's watching this, you know, could actually go out and try and initiate contact, you know.
Cris's catalogue of footage is undoubtedly intriguing, but with numerous theories that offer more conventional explanations, ufologists like Cris know they must attempt to approach the evidence with an objective and rational mind.
There's a great will to believe in a lot of people. That if someone does have an experience or a sighting, then they're looking for further confirmation, if you like. They'll look skywards. Some people just are content to look, while others, in certainly modern times, use technology. They use their video camera or still camera to try and confirm what they already believe or they've already seen or experienced. And Cris may fall into that category. I'm not saying he does, but he may do. And he's certainly got a sharp eye for this type of thing. So points his camera skywards when he thinks he sees something unconventional and films it.
What I tend to do is film whatever I see and then look at it later and then decide if it's something anomalous or not. Most people are not very good at judging distances or size, because if you're dealing with something that's very high up or looks high up, it could actually be something that's very small but very low. But I'd like to think now, you know, I'm a fairly good judge of what I see.
In the past, myself and others would take those less experienced out into the moors to look at the night sky, to show them how to identify conventional objects like the stars and the planets and aircraft and even hot air balloons at night, and which are rare, but we didn't know where there would be some. So that if they get a report of this nature, they know how to cross it off the list, so to speak.
When you film a balloon, especially what I've got, where a helium balloon is highly reflective when it's high up in the sky, but with a helium balloon, it's going to be wobbling around, and it's going to be doing sort of erratic movements. A lot of what I've got, it does seem to be, they're either stationary or they do move in a very, very controlled manner.
He seems a very genuine young man, very sincere in his beliefs, and he obviously believes himself that what he's filming is something anomalous, and that's fine if that suits Cris, but I'm afraid I don't share his opinions. I've watched Cris Martin's videos, and with the greatest will in the world, I can't see anything on there that can't be explained in conventional terms. You know, most of them look like balloons of one sort or another, with a few mixtures of aircraft thrown in for good measure. And they don't display any non-ballistic motions. They behave just like conventional objects do, and they even look like them. I mean, that's no disrespect to the gentleman in question, but to me, they've all got a conventional explanation. I wish they didn't have. I'd like to say that they don't, but they do.
Well, I was someone that used to be interested, but now it's something that I feel passionately about. I feel it's something that needs much wider public recognition. I think it's something that the media should really investigate and in an unbiased way. I think it should be much higher on the political agenda. At the moment, it's still regarded as a joke and a kind of a cranks topic. I'm left with no doubt now that there is something out there, and it's an old cliche, but I believe that we are being visited, and I have no doubts anymore.